13 years ago, it would have been unthinkable to see Afghan women doing anything remotely like this. Today, millions of girls are enrolled in schools. 20% of the seats in parliament are reserved for women. A growing number serve in the armed forces. And for the first time ever, a district in Kabul has a female police chief. The Taliban regime may be gone, but for countless Afghan women, brutality is still a part of everyday life. At a safe house in Kabul, Fatima enjoys a moment with her newborn daughter. It's a brief escape from the torture she endured at the hands of her husband.
For 8 years, my life was full of sorrow and abuse. I didn't want to live anymore because I lost all hope.
A distant relative intervened and brought her to the shelter. The women here are fed, given medical care, and assigned attorneys who try to help them through the Afghan courts. But refuge came at a cost. Fatima was forced to leave her son behind. Even if she gets a divorce, custody is usually given to the father, and that means Fatima could lose her daughter and may never again see her son.
He was such a sweet boy. I keep remembering how he used to run into my arms when he was hungry and beg me for food. Fatima, give me bread, he would say. Who is there to take care of him now? When I think of my son, my heart burns and I cry.
Women's rights are protected in the Constitution, but in reality,
even if we have law, in some places the law is not enforced. So we need actually to reform the judiciary system and the legal system in order to respect the rule of law and implement the laws that we have.
Child marriage is technically illegal, but girls are often treated as bartered goods to solve family debts. Hafiza was just 7 years old when her father married her off to a man 6 times her age.
I was too young to understand what was happening. I thought he was my uncle. My childhood ended the day we met.
For a decade, she suffered daily beatings, torture, and abuse.
I wish I was born a male. Even if I was blind or crippled, it would be better to be a man than to live a life like this. Men don't have to suffer this much.
There are fewer than 20 shelters like this in all of Afghanistan, not nearly enough in a country where almost 9 out of 10 women have been physically or sexually abused. But escape is also dangerous. Women who run away are sometimes jailed. The punishment from family can be far worse.
My father told me he has an axe and that he will kill me when I get home. He said to me, I am your father and no one will put me in prison for that. Under Sharia law, I have authority over you.
Many will never be able to return to their homes.
These women have suffered immense pain and tragedy. They found refuge at this shelter, but in some ways they are the lucky ones. Across Afghanistan, thousands of women just like them simply have no way out and nowhere to go.
Afghanistan's Human Rights Commission says violence against women hit record levels last year.
Unfortunately, 3 decades war changed the attitude of the society. We never had before the same kind of violence that right now we are facing.
And there's fear that once NATO troops withdraw, rights that do exist could be lost in government negotiations with the Taliban, which could mean that for many women, an end to war won't bring peace. Kafanov, RT, Kabul.